This is a huge shift uh, in U.S. foreign policy under Trump. Uh, this is like something you cannot really expect it at all. U.S. voting with Russia and North Korea and Iran, against the UN resolution condemning Russia of invasion Ukraine. It's a huge shift. Europeans, they are very astonished by that shift. They need really to understand what does mean that for their own policy, for their security. What is next with Russia? So the France and potential visit of Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK, to Washington, they need really to understand what does mean that shift in their future security with the United States, the transatlantic relationship between the United States and their alliance in NATO, makes them very in anxiety. They need really to find in their next meeting in March, or probably the first week of March, they need really to prepare and take an collective action against, what we can say a changing or the huge open a big gap in between United States and Europe.
Mhm. Well, the US actually voted against a UN resolution condemning Russian actions in Ukraine. So it's not just US rhetoric. How do you view this, and how does it impact the US's relations with Ukraine and Europe? What do you see the dynamics of the relationship shaping into?
This is will make Ukraine very weak uh, in terms of the future relationship between Ukraine and United States, or between Europe and the United States. United States is making a very huge shift, makes Europe seeing United States like a potential threats, not only Russia, China. So I'm sure Europe in a very bad situation, particularly after that action by United States in the UN resolution.
Mhm.
Um, Allies of the US, particularly in Europe, may view that move uh, will weaken, Europe, and make like a huge doubt in future of the leadership in international organization like the UN, where the United States has traditionally played a huge role and leading, advocating, like the European security. So it's clear that that level of trust between the United States and Europe will be in a big question, and Europe needs really to find a way, either to find I would say a new situation where they need really either to cooperate with Russia rather than United States. So they need really to reshape their future. Of course, it's pretty hard that you can see any future division between United States and Europe, but it seems to be probably Trump is shaking, the status quo with Europe. In terms of what they need really, the Trump needs really to push Europe to increase their military burden, probably to reach the 5% of their GDP. But Europe now it's in a big uh,
Mhm.
surprise. They need really to find something
Mhm.
with US.
Dr. Singer, what role do you think the US will play in future negotiations between Ukraine and Russia? Will it be objective given its recent actions to the UN Security Council? And is there a way to balance any sort of bias in these mediations?
This is a very good point. From my point of view, that action by United States today is opening, the road to make that negotiation succeed between United States and Russia. So they need really to open that kind of path to get that resolution based on the United States objectives or preferences. So it seems to me like Trump preferred to stop this war. So giving the Russia the right to control, the outcome, and particularly what the Russia really captured from the Ukraine territories, they're gonna to keep them. So it seems to me like the Trump administration really helping the negotiation situation, pleasing Russia, so that Russia can really accept that negotiation. But the question now, does Europe will accept, or does Europe accept that kind of resolution? It seems to me it's a pretty hard, because it seems to me like clearly that Europe, France, Germany, UK are not really accepting that move by United States. So the question now, it's between Europe and Russia, not really between United States and Russia. Even though we understand that the United States is playing a major role in supporting, the European security, but in terms of Ukraine, Europeans are not really happy with that resolution, because in their view, this is will encourage Russia to do an aggressive action against any countries in Europe, like Poland, and Poland is part of NATO. So another country of NATO is Poland. It's not really happy with that move, and it seems to me like that degree of stability in Europe will not be achieved if United States really moving, to support or condemning, the Russia invasion. And this is actually, it's against the international law and against the values and ethic of Europe when they were taking that position, to be against Russia, not really accepting, the Russia invasion of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Trump administration's approach to Russia, as you've mentioned, to Russia and Ukraine, has garnered mixed reactions globally. In your opinion, what could be the long-term implications?
This will hurt the relationship between Europe and United States. So United States voting with Russia and North Korea and Iran against, that resolution. Of course, this is a significant moment in international politics, and reflecting, the growing that division between United States and Europe. And this is will open, like, wow, this is what happened. That move highlights, the influence of President Trump approach clearly. That he really come close to Russia, not come close to Europe. So basically, the Western countries, they need really to find like the one statement they can really agree with the United States, or will not agree. And this is why, Macron mentioned in Washington that he will keep, that discussion with Trump. But it seems to me like France is moving up to declare about, that like the nuclear umbrella of France, or that type of deterrence, that France can really take care of the European security with UK and Germany. It seems to me like the Europeans now, they need really to find like a ground after that move of United States. But of course, the US-European relations and their future about Russia, about Ukraine's sovereignty and security will be a question for future. And it seems to me like that level of trust between United States and Europe will really take that relationship to the dark moment of to dark future, because they cannot really expect Trump moving that really condemning, the invasion of Russia and voting, against that kind of resolution. It's big. It's big, huge. It's big shift, and it's a huge for Europeans to understand that move by United States.
So maybe the Europeans will adopt a more balanced stance regarding Ukraine. What do you think of the Kremlin's view that the US now is adopting a more balanced, favorable position in resolving the conflict?
Kremlin very happy to see that move by United States. They said clearly that they are really very they are welcoming of that moving of United States to giving like the Russia some hope they can really agree together to stop this war. Of course, Trump present himself as a peacemaker, but not all the time that European can really accept, that peace under conditions of Trump or Putin. They need really to get that peace, but not really under the condition of Putin and Trump. It's very clear that Europeans, will increase their military spending in future, or military burden, just to try to resist that movement by United States, and giving Putin that is Europe is still there, and Europe voice, it's very important to be heard in terms of achieving peace in Ukraine. And Europe, I'm sure after
Yes.
the Prime Minister of UK in his speech or his talk with Trump, this will evolve and bring some new idea that Europe will reshape their foreign policy or their
Yes.
for security in Europe.